Hey, I'm Shani, and you're watching It's Style Theory. You can find new movie reviews on my channel every Monday, so subscribe!
This is going to sound strange, but there's this family secret that the men in the family can travel in time.
About Time is a romantic drama starring Rachel McAdams, one of my favorite actresses, Domhnall Gleeson, and Bill Nighy. I didn't think this movie was good, and I'm going to tell you why. It's about a guy named Tim. He lives in England. He's really happy about his childhood. It was pretty much perfect. He lives in this house in the countryside with his mom and dad and sister who is really out there, and on his 21st birthday his dad tells him that all of the men in the family can time travel. Not just anywhere in the past that they've already been. Basically all they have to do is go in a dark place, clench their fists really tight, close their eyes, and think of the place they want to go. So Tim is on the pursuit to finding true love. He moves to London hoping to find true love, and he has to stay with his dad's friend who's a poet and who's kind of rude. Anyway, so on this like blind date thing, him and his friend go and they meet these two girls. One of them is Mary, played by Rachel McAdams, and Tim and Mary decide they want to see each other again. But the next day, Tim goes to his roommate's play opening night, and it's like a complete disaster because one of the actors forgets his lines. And so Tim decides to go back in time and make sure the actor remembers his lines. But doing that, he goes too far back in time to before he met Mary, and he goes to see Mary again, and she's like, "We've never met before," and he's like, "Oh no, I changed the future." So he tries really hard to just meet her again, and that goes well. They end up dating and they fall in love, and that is the premise. Well, that's more than the premise. I feel like this movie started off pretty good. I liked the narration in the beginning. I liked him talking about his childhood. When I was watching it, at a certain point, I didn't want to finish it because I was bored. So I liked the way it started off with narration, but a lot of people say in filmmaking it's okay to start off with narration, but it should end at a certain point. If you need to narrate your story, maybe you're not telling it well enough or showing it well enough. In this movie, the narration literally never ended. After Tim fell in love with Mary and they got married, at that point, I wasn't quite sure what the goal was anymore, because the goal started off as him trying to fall in love and meet a girl and stuff. And he met a girl and they fell in love, and so I was just sitting there like, kind of like, why are we watching these people's lives? Nothing bad's happening to them or anything. And then when something bad would happen, like the sister got in a car accident at one point, he just went back in time and fixed it. He actually did run into a problem when he went back to prevent the sister from getting in the car accident by changing the boyfriend that she met. He came back to the present to find that he had a different baby. And then his dad told him that he couldn't go back before a baby was born, or baby could be a different baby. It's basically the only problem that happened like that they couldn't really fix. I mean, nothing really bad even happened to her after the car accident though. Then I started to think, wait, why isn't this more interesting? Well, the characters seem too perfect. Not only the main characters, but like the main characters' families. Yeah, they were all just perfect. They didn't really have any problems. There were all of these like montage scenes where they were just doing happy things, like walking through the train station and going up the escalator and going on dates, and yeah. Another thing, Tim's sister, that character, acted like really strange or like overly perky. Like when someone came to the house, she would run and hug them and jump on them and knock them onto the floor and like kiss them and stuff, and she would just run around barefoot in the yard, and she acted like she was 5 and she was like 25. And so with her character, I just kept on wondering, was she unrealistically perky or did she have a mental problem? And seems like she was just unrealistically perky because they never talked about her having a mental problem or anything. There were plot holes in the movie. I'm gonna talk about the one big one, and that's the whole time travel aspect. I studied astronomy for a while, my freshman year, and I used to be obsessed with time travel. I still love it, but I know a lot about it. I know there are different types of time travel. When people use time travel in science fiction, you have to choose which type of time travel you're going to use, and this movie didn't really make any decision. They just made it like these people can go back in time, and when they go back in time, it doesn't really change the future that much. When really, if you do a tiny thing by going back in time, it changed the future majorly. But no, he's like, when he went back in time to do something to help his sister, like 10 years back in time, he came back and his whole marriage with Mary and everything was still just as he left it. That's unrealistic for any time traveling scenario. Another thing, so in this movie, when he went back in time and he just like appeared in his own body back in whatever time he went back to, because when he went back, it's not like he ever ran into himself. So I guess they were choosing the type of time travel where you don't see yourself when you go back in time. But it seems like the writers didn't really think through the whole time travel, like the science of it part, because it didn't seem very realistic to me. What it really seems like overall is that the people who made this film saw The Time Traveler's Wife, thought it was a good movie, they wanted to make a similar movie themselves, and somehow they got Rachel McAdams to be in it. That's basically what this seemed like to me. A film should feel like the characters are living their lives, not like scenes are being thrown at them, and that's what this felt like. It just felt like scenes were being thrown at them. And the scene where Mary's character's manuscript got destroyed because she left it in the other room, that was so unrealistic. Why would their daughter or son just go, oh, I'm going to destroy this manuscript, put it through the shredder, color on every page, and throw it all over the room? Like, that wouldn't happen. A little toddler wouldn't do all of that for no reason. Another thing that they didn't do well was aging the main characters. The Mary and Tim start off being like 21 or 22. We see their lives over the course of like 10 years where they have 3 kids, they get older, and like 10 years and they look exactly the same. They still look 21. But I did like that quote that Tim said at the end of the movie when he just decided not to time travel anymore. He said, "Now I don't travel back at all. I just try to live every day as if I've come back to enjoy it." I give this movie a 2 out of 5. I was tempted to give it a 1 out of 5, but no, I gave it a 2 because it wasn't so bad. And if you have seen this movie, tell me what you thought in the comments below. Okay, that's all for this review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The links are in the description. And I will see you next time. Hey, I'm Shani, and you're watching It's Style Theory.
You gotta live in the moment. It's about this. This is beautiful.
Today, I'm doing a review of the movie The Spectacular Now.